Episode 6, A Haven of Elegance and Grandeur. The group went outside the clinic, where Marianne had already arranged an elegant limousine which was waiting for them. At the gate of the Woodside Clinic, all the people were amazed by the car in front of them. Rose wondered,
Wow, Marianne arranged a limousine for us. I had no idea she would arrange a limo for our lunch to the hotel.
Rose couldn't believe her eyes. She had no idea that Marianne had arranged for them to be picked up in a luxury car, and she was filled with excitement and anticipation as she approached the vehicle. For most of the people, it wasn't a big deal, but for Dawn and Daisy it was very new. They had never experienced such luxury in their lives before. Growing up, Dawn and Daisy had experienced a lot of hardship and poverty after the loss of their parents. They had always had to make do with whatever they had, and they had never had the opportunity to experience luxury like this. So, this was all new for them, and they couldn't believe their eyes. As Dawn and Daisy approached the limousine, they were struck by its sleek and elegant appearance. They had never seen a car like this before, and they couldn't wait to experience what it was like to ride in one. David said to Marianne, "This is a nice car, Marianne. Thank you for arranging this." Marianne smiled and replied,
I'm glad you like it. I wanted to do something special for our outing to the Four Seasons Hotel, and I thought a limousine would be the perfect way to get there in style.
David replied, "Absolutely. I am sure others will also agree." To that, Dawn nodded and said, "You definitely succeeded in doing that, Marianne. This is a once-in-a-lifetime experience for me. I've never ridden in a limousine before." Marianne chuckled and said,
I'm glad I could give you something new and exciting to experience, and I'm sure the Four Seasons Hotel will be just as luxurious and amazing.
Even Nellie and Kelly have never been inside a limo. Nellie, who's now rich after knowing that she was an Ambrose, but she has never been in a limo before. Kelly belonged to a wealthy family, but even she has never been inside a limo. Both wanted to thank Marianne for this experience. The group was amazed by the size of the limousine. It was much larger than they had expected, with plenty of room for all of them to sit comfortably. They took in the luxurious interior, with its soft, plush seats, minibar, TV, and sound system. It was no ordinary limousine. It was a divine limo. The driver opened the door and smiled at the group, saying, "Welcome aboard, sirs and ma'ams. Make yourselves comfortable. I hope you all have a pleasant ride. Anything you need during the ride, you can inform me, although there is everything available inside the limo, from snacks to beverages. You can also check out the mini fridges for any beverages. There is a TV for your entertainment during the ride, and a sound system. Apart from these, if you need anything else, let me know." Saying this, the driver waited for everyone to enter the vehicle. Once they were in, he closed the door of the limousine and went to the front to the driver's seat. As Nellie and Kelly settled into their seats in the limousine, they couldn't help but feel a sense of excitement and gratitude towards Marianne. This was the first time either of them had ever ridden in a limousine, and they were thrilled to be experiencing such luxury. Daisy said to Marianne,
Thank you, Marianne, for arranging this luxury car. Both me and Dawn never seen one before, let alone be in one.
To which Marianne smiled and replied,
You're welcome, Daisy. I'm glad you're enjoying it.
Both Dawn and Daisy were both filled with excitement as they stepped into the limousine. They couldn't help but feel a sense of awe and wonder. Even Celeste and Celine, who mostly stayed in the Moon Palace, were very excited to see such luxury car like a limo. They also had never been inside a limo, as they were always training in the Moon Palace. They were happy that Marianne arranged this. As Celeste and Celine climbed into the limousine, they couldn't help but feel a sense of excitement and wonder. They had always lived and trained in the Moon Palace, and while it was a luxurious and beautiful place, they had never had the opportunity to experience the kind of grandeur and refinement that a limousine offered. Rose stepped into the limousine and was amazed by the luxurious interior. The seats were soft and comfortable, and the car was equipped with all kinds of amenities, including a mini bar, a TV, and a sound system. Dawn and Daisy couldn't believe how comfortable and spacious the limousine was. They settled into their seats and gazed out the tinted windows as the driver started the engine and pulled away from the curb. Lindsay, however, had been inside a limo before, so it was nothing new to her. She was more worried about her sister Debbie, and she didn't look at the limo properly, let alone thank Marianne. As Lindsay climbed into the limousine, she couldn't help but feel a sense of concern for her sister Debbie. She knew that Debbie had been struggling with issues regarding Alex lately, and she wanted to make sure that she was okay. The other people in the group was amazed by the size of the limousine. It was much larger than they had expected, with plenty of room for all of them to sit comfortably. As they rode through the city, they couldn't stop marveling at the grandeur and elegance of the limousine. It was truly a divine vehicle, and they knew that this was an experience that they would never forget. Celeste and Celine couldn't stop marveling at the luxurious interior and the smooth ride. They had never felt so pampered and spoiled like this before. Nellie turned to Marianne and said,
Thank you so much for arranging this, Marianne. I've always wanted to ride in a limousine, and this is such a special treat. I can't believe how comfortable and spacious it is inside.
Kelly nodded and added,
I agreed. This is an experience I'll never forget. Thank you for thinking of us and making this happen.
Marianne smiled and replied,
You're welcome. I'm glad you're enjoying it. This is least I could do for you all. You all have arrived here in such short notice that I don't know how else to thank you all.
Daisy said to Dawn.
Dawn, this is really happening. We are experiencing a life of a rich person today. I've never thought we could ever get such an opportunity to be near a limousine, let alone be inside one and be treated like a rich person.
As she said this, her eyes were filled with excitement. Dawn knew this and he didn't want to ruin this moment of her. He said, You deserve this. You've always deserved this. I know I could not give you this lifestyle and give you happiness, but I will always try. And someday we will live like this. Amidst all the excitement, Daisy felt a bit sorrow and felt bad for her brother. She held his hands and said,
Don't you worry, brother. I know you have done everything to make me happy and keep me happy, and I am never going to forget your sacrifices that you made all these years for me. After our parents' death, I am happy to have a brother like you, and now I have another brother like Alex. I'm sure when Alex wakes up he will be very happy to see us and meet us.
Hearing this, Dawn felt a bit of mixed emotions. He was sad, but he was also proud of his sister, and he knew his sister have grown up and he did well to raise her. He didn't want to spoil her moments, so he tried to change the topic. He said, Let's forget about that and see this car. Look how beautiful it is. Let's enjoy the ride for now and forget about the past.
Yes, let's enjoy the present,
replied Daisy. As the limousine drove through the city, the group chatted and enjoyed the luxurious surroundings. They were all excited to see what the Four Seasons Hotel had in store for them, and they knew that this would be a day that they would never forget. As the car arrived at the hotel, they were welcomed by security guards. As the group stepped out of the limousine, they were struck by the grandeur and elegance of the Four Seasons Hotel. The driver had been right. This was definitely one of the finest limousines in the city, and it had been an incredible ride, said Dawn to others. Indeed, replied David. The group thanked the driver and headed towards the hotel's entrance, marveling at the beautiful architecture and lush gardens that surrounded them. As they walked into the lobby, they were greeted by the concierge, who smiled and said, Welcome to the Four Seasons Hotel. How may I assist you today? Marianne told the concierge that they had a reservation and gave him their names. The concierge quickly found their reservation and gave them the keys to their rooms. He added, Ma'am, our manager have informed us about your arrival and you have special lunch arranged for all the person. Please this way, said the concierge as he showed them towards the dining room. Daisy had never seen a 5-star hotel like the Four Seasons Hotel. She was amazed by its luxury and grandeur. As she walked through the elegant lobby, she couldn't help but feel a sense of awe and wonder. The marble floors, sparkling chandeliers, and lush plants all contributed to the luxurious atmosphere. As the group walked into the Four Seasons Hotel's dining room, they were all struck by the elegant decor and sophisticated atmosphere. The server led them to a long table with a crisp white tablecloth and plush chairs, and the silverware and glassware gleamed in the soft light. Everyone took a look at the menu and decided on their orders. Kelly chose the Caesar salad. Melly opted for the seafood chowder. Celeste decided on the truffle-infused risotto. Celine chose the lamb shank with herb-roasted vegetables. Daisy went for the pan-seared salmon with sauteed spinach. David selected the grilled steak with roasted potatoes. Dawn chose the chicken parmesan with pasta. Lindsay decided on the grilled salmon with quinoa and vegetables. And Marian chose the vegetarian stir-fry with tofu and brown rice. The waiter took the orders and went to the kitchen to deliver the order to the chef. As they waited for their food to arrive, they chatted and enjoyed the beautiful view of the gardens and fountains outside the window. When their meals arrived, they were all pleased to see that they were beautifully presented and smelled delicious. Everyone took a bite and was immediately impressed by the flavors and textures of their dishes. The food at the Four Seasons Hotel was truly top-notch, and everyone was grateful for the opportunity to experience such luxury and refinement. As they finished their meals and thanked the server, Lindsay ordered some prune and olive chicken for Sophie and Kendall. Then she asked the server to make some sweet corn and corn soup for Debbie. She asked him to pack them. Marianne, on the other hand, called Mrs. Ambrose and asked what should she take for her food order. And Flora told Marianne that grilled chicken risotto will do for her. So Marianne added the grilled chicken risotto to the server on Lindsay's order. The group was chatting while waiting for the new food orders. On the other hand, Debbie now again started reading the articles about coma patients. Flora, Alex's mother, was worried about Debbie, and she wanted to talk to her and know her, and this was the best time Flora went near Debbie and introduced herself.
Hello, Debbie. I am Flora, Alex's mother. I am so happy that you are taking care of Alex. And it's understandable that you would be worried about Alex's coma and would want to learn as much as you can about it. But it's also important for you to take care of your own health, as it's not helpful for anyone if you become sick. It's important for you to take breaks and make sure you're eating and sleeping properly. It's also important for you to seek support from friends and family and to take care of your emotional well-being as well. It's understandable that this is a difficult and stressful time, and it's important to find ways to manage the stress and take care of oneself. I hope you understand this.
Flora said these with care towards Debbie.
I'm absolutely sorry, Mrs. Ambrose. I didn't even introduce myself. I have been so busy with all these that I didn't even introduce myself to you. Please forgive me,
Said Debbie to Flora with respect and regret for not speaking with her earlier.
It's all right, Debbie. It's understandable that you have a lot on your mind. With Alex being in a coma, it's important to focus on taking care of Alex and yourself, and it's natural to forget things in times of stress. It's good to meet you, Debbie. I'm grateful for all the care and concern you're showing for my son. It's heartwarming to see you taking such good care of him. And one more thing, you can call me Mother if you want. I'll be very happy if you called me Mother instead of Mrs. Ambrose.
Asked Flora to Debbie. Debbie now felt a sudden feeling of surprise, but she was happy at the same time. She remembered how much she wanted both her mothers to be alive today, and she was always wanting the love and care from a mother. She could not help to feel both happy and a bit of sadness remembering her mother's, one who died when she was just a child in order to save her life, and the other who could never enjoy the lavish life she deserved. Debbie hugged Flora and spoke in a broken voice with teary eye.
I would love to call you Mother, and I am so happy to finally meet you, Mother.
Flora also teared up and said,
I am proud of both you and Alex.
The episode ends with both Flora and Debbie hugging each other and feeling happy and sadness at the same time.